Greek art. Greek art is interwoven in Western culture. So we often realize na murag bag-o ra ang kanaang bag-o ra ang murag bag-o siya lang tawag ang art sa Greek art tungod kay na-influence siya sa Western culture, which is magkaya nato nga mo siya bag-o. But in fact, 3,000 years na siya nga art. So, ang Egyptian art nag-credit po sila sa mga idea o sa mga skills sa uban nga mga kuan sa early civilization nga ilahang gikuhag idea sa ilahang art. So, nag-focus ang Greek art sa mga nude figures, mga hubog nga lawas, which is idealized body nga makita nato sa ang painting. Ang example niya is ay sa kanaang statue. Ang example niya is ang statue of Kratos, which is nagid siya ay kanaang six na abs na kanaang abs. So makita to mga kanaang kuan. Egyptian art. Egyptian made their art for their goddesses and their god. Also, they made for their monarch and the dead for their journey of afterlife. Egyptian art um they believe in afterlife, so they do art for such a thing.
Roman art reflecting changing world embraced early Christianism and symbolism. Throughout, Roman art emphasized realism, monumentality, functionality, and was heavily influenced by Greek art. For the example is the Caravaggio. The painting is the crowning with Turin. So, Caravaggio despite a significant moment in the Passion of Christ, where Roman soldier mourning crowned Jesus with thorn and beat him and stick. The artist's use of chiaroscuro, or dramatic contrast of light and shadow, emphasize the brutality of the scene while highlighting Christ's calm, resigned expression within his suffering. This artwork captures an tension between human cruelty and divine sacrifice, reflecting the emotional and physical torment Christ endured before his crucifixion. Through this posturalial, Caravaggio invites viewers to contemplate the of suffering, injustice, and redemption. Romanist art was a blend of Roman architectural influence and Christianism, and this style reflects a power of the church of the social order of medieval Europe. So Romanesque art laid the groundwork for the later Gothic style influence its architecture and architecture. Romanesque art. So was a blend of Roman architectural influence and Christianism. So it's massive imposing structure like churches with rounded arches with thick wool and wall vaults, and decoration was simple, often featuring biblical sense and symbolic motif. So the power of the church and the social order of medieval Europe, so Montesquieu art laid the groundwork for the later Gothic style, influencing its architecture and artistic sense. Like example, the the Flight into Jeep by Just Libertus. So, capital on the pillar opposite to that holding the dream of the Magi, show Mary who is looking at us in an almost personal manner, showing us her child. So, she seemed to be floating on the donkey rather than sitting on him, a position similar to the enthroned Madonna and child. But the sculptor has given his own interpretation to the heretic says Sapinshit. The mother's head is slightly bowed and her arm laid protectively around her child creates a scene of human profoundness and sensitivity. So that's the
That's the Romanesque.
The rose window is a hallmark of Gothic era, 12th-16th century, characterized by grand cathedrals and intricate stained glass that symbolize divine light and religious devotion. The rose window represents God's light and tells stories from the Bible. The circular shape symbolizes eternity and often shows Mary with baby Jesus surrounded by angels and saints. It was meant to inspire people and bring them closer to God. The Mona Lisa exemplifies the Renaissance 14th-17th century, a period that celebrates humanism, realism, and scientific curiosity and shifting. The focus to individual expression and natural beauty. The painting shows a woman with a mysterious smile, symbolizing the beauty and mystery of human emotions. It's also known for its realistic details and use of perspective, which were important in Renaissance art.
The Baroque period, spanning roughly from the early 17th century to 18th century, was a vibrant artistic movement that embraced drama and a heightened sense of emotion. It emerged as a reaction against the simplicity and austerity of the Renaissance, reflecting the turbulent times of religious upheaval, scientific advancement, and the rise of powerful monarchic rule. Here an example of Baroque art, the Excasti of Saint Teresa. The image shows a marble sculpture of an angel holding an arrow in its right hand. Hovering above a reclining woman, the sculpture is set against a backdrop of gold color rays emanating from the ceiling, creating a dramatic and ethereal feel. The angel wings are spread wide and its gaze is focused on the woman below. The woman's body is relaxed and her head is tilted back slightly as if she is in a state of repose. The sculpture is likely a depiction of biblical or mythological scenes, and the use of marble and gold highlight the beauty and artistry of the work. Rococo, a style emerged in France during the 18th century, represented a departure from the grandeur and formality of the descending Baroque era. It embraced a lighter, more playful aesthetic characterized by intricate ornamentation, delicate curves, and focus on themes of love, pleasure, and pursuit of beauty. The swing. This painting depicts a young woman swinging on a rope swing in a lush garden setting. She is dressed in a flow pink dress and a white hat, and her hair is tied back with a ribbon. The swing is suspended from a tree branch. The woman's legs are raised in the air as she swings. The background is a blur of green foliage and blue sky, and there are flowers and a small stream in the foreground. The painting is a celebration of the beauty and joy of nature, and it's captured the carefree spirit of youth.
Neoclassicism is an important style to understand for writers, filmmakers, artists, and architects. Why? Because it changed how we think about classical art, and not just classical art as in Greek and Roman art, but all art that we consider classical. So we're going to cover some neoclassicism example in a bit, but first let's define neoclassicism. So neoclassicism, in definition, was an art movement that sought to evoke the style of classical antiquity in writing, painting, sculpting, and architecture found in Greek and Roman culture. Neoclassicism was most popular between the late 18th century and early 19th century, but its influence still reverberates throughout the art world today. Angelica Kauffman, a renowned painter and founding member of the Royal Academy in London, was known for her neoclassical style and contributions to art. Born in Switzerland, she moved to Italy where her talent flourished. Kaufman's work often features themes of virtue and mythology, appealing to Enlightenment ideals. She gained recognition among the European elite and is a significant figure in feminist history. Her legacy inspires discussion about gender, artistry, and the impact of women in male-dominated fields. Romanticism, also known as Romantic era or Romantic movement, was an artistic and intellectual movement that originated in Europe towards the end of 18th century. So the purpose of the movement is to advocate for the importance of subjectivity, imagination, and appreciation of nature in society and culture in response to the age of enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution.
A man who has been murdered is found collapsed over the foreground, with his belongings carried in his arms, while his murderer runs away, leaving a trail of blood from a cut in his neck. Above is divine vengeance, lighted by a candle, and justice armed with a sword and scales pursue the transgressor. So the painting Justice and Divine Vengeance Pursuing Crime by Proudhon, painted between 1804 and 1808, explores the complex relationship between justice and retaliation in France during the late 18th to early 19th century. The painting contrasts the darker aspect of human nature, such as crime, with justice as a divine and moral force. It highlights the duality between law and morality, suggesting retribution is inevitable in a flawed justice system. The painting resonates with artists and thinkers, prompting ongoing discussion on the balance between law and morality. It encourages viewers to consider the ramifications of crime and pursuit of justice.